Hi, I'm Omar Jael Mendoza Lopez. I'm studying mechatronic engineering at the Universidad Politécnica de Pachuca. This is my product for the third grade of English 8, and I'm from the MKTN 0801 group. Uh, remember, remember that there are basically three types of questions. The first is yes no questions. For example, do you want tea? The second is question word questions. For example, where did you drink tea? And the third is choice questions. For example, do you prefer tea or coffee? And the reported question. Reported questions are one forms of reported speech. For example, the direct question is she said, "Are you cold?" And the reported question is she asked me if I was cold. Or another example is in direct questions, he said, "Where's my pen?" And in reported question is he asked where his pen was. We usually introduce report questions with the verb ask. And he asked me if or whether it's just no questions, and he asked me why, when, where, what, how. It's a question or question. Ask with report statements. We may need to change pronouns and tense, backshift, as well as time and place in reported questions. But we also need to change to word order. After we report a question, it is a longer question, and in writing there is no question mark. And the word order is like that of a normal statement, subject, verb, and object. And the reported yes no questions, we introduce reported yes no questions with ask plus if. In direct question, for example, she said, "Do you like coffee?" And in reported question is she asked if I liked coffee. Note that in the above example, the reported question has no auxiliary do, but there is pronoun change to change and backshift. And note that we sometimes use whether instead of if. The meanings is the same, whether is a little more formal and more usual in writing. They ask of if we want lunch. Another example is they ask us whether we want lunch. And the reported questions were questions. We introduce report questions were questions with ask plus question word. And direct question, for example, he said, "Where do you live?" And in reported question is he asked me where I lived. Note that is the above example, the reported question has no auxiliary do, but there is pronoun change and backshift. And look at this example sentence. Um, um, the yes no questions in direct question, for example, I said, "Can I help you?" And in yes no questions, but in reported question, is I ask if I could help her. And the question were questions in direct question. The first example is he said, "Where are you doing? Where are you going?" And the reported question is he asked me where I was going. And another example of question word question in direct question is he said, why didn't you say something? And the reported question is he asked me why I hadn't said anything. And finally, the choice question in direct question is he said, do you want tea or coffee? And the reported question is he asked whether I want tea or coffee. And it's all. Thank you for listening.